insanely expensive right now. Maybe by the time you're watching this, they will have gone down a little bit, but over the last like 3-4 years, egg prices have gone crazy. And what's the explanation that we're all hearing? Yes, the bird flu, culling millions of hens.
Bird flu.
Bird flu. Bird flu.
Panda, 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 panda. I got broads in Atlanta. She's the lean the family.
Already, more than 90 million birds have
Is
been
Johnny gonna
killed
talk about
since
manufacturing
the outbreak started.
consent?
I mean, if you are an egg producer and suddenly there's an outbreak of bird flu in
Eggs are
all
free.
of your farms, like that's a huge deal. That'd be like really terrible, right? For your business. You're like, man, our product is being killed by a flu. And wait a minute. US's biggest egg producers' profits triple as prices soar. Wait, triple? Profits? For the biggest egg producer. Oh, and if you look at the biggest egg producer's stock price, you see this. Right around the time when the avian flu is happening, their stock price is going nuts. Time to get out their annual report. Annual report for Cal-Maine Foods, Inc. They're a privately traded company. They must disclose all of their financials, which means we can get a little more insight as to how they fared during this time when there is a
public. I think you just
crisis
misspoke.
in our egg economy. And all of us are paying like more than double the price for a dozen of eggs. This is 2023, and it looks like its shareholders got paid $250 million in profits. Okay. It's right in the middle of the bird flu crisis. You wouldn't think that they would be profiting
Yo,
that
thick
much.
communist,
Is that a lot?
thank you.
$250 million, maybe that's not that
Appreciate
much.
it.
Let's graph the dividends, the profits paid out to shareholders. Whoa, okay. Well, 2023 was a great year for the largest egg producer in the United States, despite like all of this avian flu. So in 2023, they paid $250 million. The year before, they paid $6 million. So they had a 40 times increase in the profits they paid out to their shareholders, right in the heart of when all of us were going to restaurants and seeing these signs. We're raising prices on eggs because there's a bird flu, so we have to pay more. But the company making the eggs is profiting a lot more money. It's not just revenue. It's not like they're making more money and their costs have increased a bunch, so they are profiting. They are making way more money after all of their costs, and we're all paying more. Oh, and this year, 2025, their profits are up 342% in Q2 of this year. I mean, just to mic drop, like drive this home, let's put these two graphs next to each other. This one is the price for a dozen eggs. It's gone up a ton because of bird flu. And this one is profits for shareholder of Cal-Maine Foods going up at the same time. So these graphs tell a story of a company who was able to raise prices more than what they needed to cover their costs. And they were somehow able to do that. Can we just look at the supply of eggs in the United States just real quick? This graph, there's the price. Price goes up here, right? Now let's draw on the number of eggs produced in the United States during this time. Here's the outbreak of the avian flu, early 2023. Now I'm going to draw on the number of eggs produced in the United States. If I were guessing, I hadn't seen this chart before, I would imagine it would look something like this, like eggs, 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 flu happens, production of eggs plummets. When there's less supply, prices have to go up, and that's why prices went up. Now let's draw on the real shape. Again, number of eggs produced in the United States. Boom. Kind of barely dips. Yes, avian flu was a real thing. I'm not like drawing some like conspiracy theory here that like this is not real, but like this crisis was as much about storytelling as it was about
manufacturing
supply and
consent.
demand. We all accepted way higher prices because of these signs, because of all of this news. And in fact, thanks to COVID, we were kind of used to hearing about supply chains and paying higher prices and waiting longer because of something that's out of our control. This is the driver of inflation, right? But what this story tells is that there's a company that, by the way, controls 25% of the market. They're a huge player, the largest player by far in the egg economy, that has the ability to raise prices even when they don't need to increase costs. And that company, by the way, if you chart how many eggs they were making, during the crisis, they were actually making more eggs and just selling them at a way higher price. So of course their profits tripled. Of course their shareholders made off with huge
it's fake
dividends.
scarcity. I mean,
You
it's
can
what
read a lot more
capitalism
about
thrives
this in
on.
a couple really good reports that were very helpful for our reporting, one of which concludes that corporations have used this outbreak, the avian flu, as a smokescreen for raising prices beyond what was necessary to cover any rising costs. This is the kind of stuff that happens when one company owns a huge portion of an industry. They just have a ton of control and they're able to manipulate the market. That is supposed to be a competitive space where all the firms compete for customers by lowering their prices as much as they possibly can. But our modern food system has become more and more consolidated. Four firms handle 85% of all beef processing in the US. 3 companies control 78% of all pasta. 2 firms own 70% of the canned tuna industry. 1 company dominates seed genetics. 70% of all grocery stores flow through just 4 chains. This level of consolidation means that companies don't compete on prices, they match prices. And when there is a crisis, they're able to take advantage
That's called
of that
fixing.
to help spread the narrative and signal to the rest of us that prices have gone up because of this crisis, when really they're just padding their bottom line. There's a bunch of lawsuits happening right now because of this. McDonald's is suing meat companies for colluding to keep prices high. Frozen potatoes for your French fries, also very consolidated. Also some like price manipulation allegations there. A big turkey producer is in the middle of a price fixing scandal. They've had to pay out settlements, $32 million here, $4 million
but have you considered
there.
this is just
I mean,
not
this is
real
kind of
capitalism?
a cost of doing business when you are a big industrial food producer and you use your power to cash in. So we've been told a story that these crises, COVID and supply chain shocks, are at the root of inflation, of prices going up. But there's now pretty compelling evidence that corporate profits, their ability to take advantage of these crises to raise prices above where they need to be, is a major driver of inflation. Meaning we're paying more money and we're making these companies way richer. Corporate profits are at an all-time high despite some volatility in the economy. Last year, margins reached over 16%, which is the